having the empathy and patience with other people, definitely that's what my mother has taught me. I remember a few years ago, I was going to, I think it was probably yoga class on like a Sunday morning. Yeah. And it was snowy, kind of icy out. It was like terrible weather, very cold. And across the street from the studio was a bagel place. And there was a woman sitting on the concrete, cold concrete. And she seemed mentally ill, and she was kind of cursing, God damn it. And like, just, I knew, like, when you see someone who is schizophrenic, like, you can recognize that if you've lived with that. She was yelling, and I went in and I got her a bagel and I gave her the bagel, and she cursed at me. She's like, "Oh, you bitch." And I'm like, and I just said, have a great day. And I went into the studio, and there was a couple, and they said, "Did you see that crazy bitch out there? She was yelling and screaming." And I said, "Well, she's probably someone's daughter or mother or sister, and maybe she deserves some compassion." And I just, because I couldn't hold my tongue. I couldn't.
I've seen situations like that, and I think, like you said, there's like this sensitivity that we see when we see somebody. There's so many videos out now on social media where, oh, look at this crazy woman yelling at herself and yelling alone. And I look at those things and I say, no, she's not mentally well.
Yeah,
And
she's
yeah, and people that have not lived through that. But I mean, you don't have to live through that to understand that laughing at someone or attacking someone for that is not normal either. I have a problem with that because, I mean, when I was young as well, when we were in primary school, we went down to CBD in Sydney, and there was a man across the road. It was the school excursion. We were about to get on a bus, and this man was homeless and just screaming. He was alone, and everyone started yelling, "Oh, you effing nutso, you're a Looney Tune." Yeah. And I remember I was 10, and I felt so bad for the man, but I also felt shame because I thought, if they knew my mum, she does the same thing. I mean, she's not homeless. And my mum was always very put together. Everybody handles the illness in a distinct way. Some people might let themselves go. My mum was always she liked to look good, even throughout the illness. That was bizarre too, to see a woman who was like nicely dressed, but yelling and
yeah.
just really angry and do that in the streets. And people have no patience. They'll just go to that extreme of, oh, that bitch. And
Yeah, she's nuts. She's crazy. And it's so hurtful.